Hi guys, and happy Saturday. Today is January 15th and we're on our third day of exploring the mini catalog. So let's go ahead and get to the third tab, which is Artfully Layered. I was really excited when I saw this bundle because I love leaves. I love fall colors. This can be spring though. As you can see here, they used very bright colors for more of a spring look, but I just love it. So it is a 8-piece die set, great backgrounds, good sayings, and then 9 fabulous dies. Love them, love them, love them. So what we're doing today is we're just going to do a quick card, and I don't even know where I set it down. Oh, here it is. We're going to be doing this card. Now, I don't know the style of this card. I call it a marquee card because I think about the billboards or the marquees on a movie theater. So it's probably 50% of how I do my landscape cards is I do this marquee type look where I have the banner running across the top. Now I didn't do anything fancy in the background. You can dry emboss it with one of your folders. You can stamp, probably if you stamped with the Versamark, that would, oh, maybe we'll do it on this one. We'll stamp with the Versamark so we get a little bit of a background look to it. But this is all just cutouts and then one of those sayings, and this is that leaf just being used as a background. So very, very quick card. Now, when I made this card, I actually used the Stampin' Seal on the back of the marquee to hold it down. But this time, I think I'm going to go ahead and use Scotch tape just to hold it in place until I know I like the way it looks. All right, so this one I used, and I always have to get out my little scraps. Whenever I'm going to be cutting out die cuts, I get out my scraps. And so, this card, of course, is the background is that Cajun Craze with the garden green. So since, you know, I always want to make as many cards as I can, here's the reverse. So when you cut out your Cajun Craze, your 8.5 by 5.5, you're going to have half left where you can make a lot of these little strips, or you can make panels for another card. So this space is going to be your garden green. And of course, it started off at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This layer is 5.5 by 1 3/4, and this layer is very vanilla, and it is 5.5 by 1.5. Now, I know I've said this before. I like using very vanilla instead of basic white when I'm doing nature-like things. I don't know why. I just think the basic white is a beautiful bright white, but I like a little bit more muted. And yes, you can take your basic white and you can, you know, stamp over it to make a background, or you can take your blends and soften it up. I just go straight to the very vanilla. It's my go-to. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside for just a second. I'm gonna bring out one of my scraps of, this is garden green. Let me bring out the mama, because this is too big to go in the baby, and I want to die cut a few things at a time. All right, so we're die cutting, so we're using 1 and 2, and then 2 plates 3. So what I'm going to do is, let me go over here, go to those dies. Now I have some already cut out over here, but I'm going to cut out a few more just so you can see what it looks like. This is just a fabulous, fabulous die set. Now, just a reminder, if you are cutting multiples like I am right now on a plate, you only can use 1 layer of cardstock, and you don't want to go all the way to the edge, because if you're running it back and forth, which I do on detail dies, if you go all the way to the edge, there's a chance that your dies are going to move a little. And when you go back through the second time, they may not cut cleanly. So what I mean is I'm going to go ahead, and when I get to the edge of that cardstock, I'm not going to go all the way where it might do that little clunk, you know, because that's where possibly your dies can move. So let's go ahead, take this out. Let me move this over to my chair for just a second. So I'm going to take this out, and it cuts beautifully. Now it's very intricate, so you have to be careful when you're peeling it off. Most of the pieces are going to fall right out. This is one though where you do need to use your take-a-pick tool, and I found poke out those holes. I usually don't have to. I usually just drop it on the table and it falls out. But since you have so many intricate cuts, I find it's just better to poke those holes. Okay, so look at that. How beautiful. And then we have this one that's still stuck on here. Again, it'll just fall right out. These dies cut so well. I mean, there's very few dies that I've gotten where I've had a problem with getting them out. The intricate ones usually a little bit more, but I've learned tips and tricks along the ways. And then I did have one that actually did have a bad point, a bad part in it where it just wouldn't cut. And of course, Stampin' Up! Sent it to me right away, the replacement. They had no questions about it. I had actually even sent a picture to show. No questions asked. They had sent me another one. But that out of let's see, I've been doing this now for, it'll be 23 years in September. The dies came around, I would say maybe about 15 years ago. So one die out of all the dies I bought in 15 years, I'll take those odds. I will take those odds. All right. So this one, like I said, you just want to be very careful. I usually try to, and you can run your brush through too. That sometimes will help it, but I'm afraid of scratching because I have a heavy hand. So I'm always afraid of scratching my cardstock with it. I don't think that really happens, but that's just me worried about it. All right. And I didn't bring out my magnetic plate, so I'm going to put these over here in the scraps in my holder right now, just so I don't lose it. All right, let's get rid of all the scritchies. And yes, you can use that as a mask, great. But I have so many of these, I'm going to just throw this away. But you can use it for a mask and use your blending brushes, and it'll look gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let me find my tape here. I think this tape will work good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to look and see how I like how it's looking on the back side. So this one, I think I want to kind of go. Now remember, anything outside this edge is going to get cut off because of the length of your card. So you know what? Let me try this really quick. Let me just try going right down the middle here. See what that looks like, because then I can do, yes. So then I can do this. Like I said, last time I just ran 2 strips of the Stampin' Seal there. I'm going to do this like this, just so I can kind of pick it up and look and see how I like it. Now, I don't really like that little hanging out there, so I'm going to chop that off. And let's go ahead and do this like this. All right, so now let's get, here's some of the other die cuts I did. So now let's get some coordinating in there. I want to break up the greens. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this down. And I want to get a lot of that leaf because I love, that's my favorite die in the set. Of course, you don't have favorites. Remember, it's like kids. We don't have favorite kids. We don't have favorite dies. But I do. Dies, that is, not kids. All right, sorry. A little bit of silent moment there. So then let me lay this down, see how I like how it looks. So I do like that. So now, I think I want to bring this way over here because I don't want it to go right there because it's, that to me is too matchy-matchy. And I want to keep my leaves intact, so I want to make sure I don't go over that edge there. Let me go down a little bit here. And so then finally I need another leaf, like right there. I'm going to cut that stem off. And I'm going to have a little bit of a blank spot there, but we'll see how it looks. How about that? Because we can always tuck something up underneath if need be. So a lot of that gets cut off, remember? So let's just do like this for now. I do see I have some tape showing up there. See how that's all glossy? When you're using this method, you do have to make sure that you try not to go over the edge. So let me go ahead and pull that up a little and move it down just a smidgen. That way I don't see that tape. All right, so let's see how it looks. Oh, I do like that. Now I'm going to have to cut some of this off, of course. So if I don't want to cut as much off, I can go ahead and rearrange it now. Yeah, I think I like it that way better. So, or I can go all the way down here and then I'll see what I have to cut off there. All right. It's not going to be, you know, I didn't run these through with the adhesive sheets. So, they're going to like be floating, but I like that look. I like the look of it being floating. And of course you could always pop it up on dimensionals if you wanted to. I'm just going to lay it flat like this. Make sure I get to the edge there. Go underneath it with my snips. Cut off those little points. Oh my goodness. That, I think maybe I will put a spot of glue under there just so that stays like that, because I do like that. So let me get just a little tiny bit of glue underneath there. And hold it for a second. All right. There we go. So now I am going to take my sheet of my Very Vanilla. I have that leaf, and yes, I have it off the block, but I'm only going to be doing a little bit of the leaves. So I'm not doing the whole image, so it's not going to hurt your stamp to do that. So let me go ahead. Now this is kind of a distinctive one, so a light touch, but I'm still going to stamp off once. Look how pretty that is. I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to kind of push a little harder there, because I'm going to do my happy birthday here. And then, all right, I think that's good now. Yeah, I got a little bit of an edge there. Am I worried about that? Not so much. It's fine. All right, let me grab out my Mento. And I cut this one strange, so I need to kind of, I have it mounted on the bias there, so I'm going corner to corner. I want to see how straight. So if I go, it looks like it's pretty straight. If I go corner to corner on the cardstock. So let's go corner to corner. Push down. I moved it a little bit. Still looks good. All right. A little more Stampin' Steel. There you are. Oh, I didn't stamp the background like I said I was going to. Maybe next time. Maybe on the picture and the example I will do that. But look how fabulous that looks. Few die cuts, a little layering, and a quick birthday card. You could tailor this to more blues if you wanted to make it more masculine, you know, but I think that this could be a good card for anyone, any gender, any occasion. All right, thanks a lot, guys, and have a great Saturday. Be safe out there if you're in the Midwest, down to, I think there was Georgia. We're getting some snow, kind of a weird winter storm, so be safe out there. Take care. Thanks. Bye.